All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever felt like your brain is just a runaway train of worries and you can't find the brakes? Well, you're definitely not alone. And it turns out that constant anxiety, it's not a bug in your system. It's actually a very old, very powerful feature. So today, we're going to pop the hood and look at the owner's manual for our anxious brains.
I mean, it's the ultimate question, isn't it? We tell ourselves to stop. We know, logically, that it's not helping, but the thoughts just keep coming. Well, the answer has almost nothing to do with willpower and everything to do with how we're fundamentally wired.
To really get this, let's imagine two totally different worlds. First, you've got the giraffe's world. This is what you'd call an immediate return environment. A giraffe's problems are right here, right now. Is there a line in the grass? Is a storm rolling in? The stress pops up, the giraffe runs or finds shelter, and boom, the stress is gone. But us? Oh, we live in a delayed return environment. Our biggest worries, our career path, saving for retirement, the future of our relationships, they're all abstract, they're uncertain, and they're way, way off in the future. And that right there is the core of the whole issue. We are running Stone Age software in a Space Age world. Our brains were beautifully designed for the giraffe's world of immediate solvable problems, not our modern world of constant, low-grade, future-focused anxiety.
You see, our ability to think about the future, that was our species' superpower. It's what let our ancestors survive against all odds. Our brain became this incredible anticipation machine, constantly running simulations of what might go wrong next so we could plan for it.
And this timeline, this really puts that mismatch into perspective. The hardware in our skulls is about 200,000 years old. It was built for immediate threats. But the world it's living in now, this society of delayed returns we've built, it's only a few hundred years old, really. In evolutionary time, that's not even the blink of an eye. It's nothing.
So, let's meet the specific part of that ancient hardware that's responsible for all this worry. It's a survival circuit that evolution has kept around for a very, very good reason. It is incredibly effective at keeping us alive.
So, let's look under the hood. Deep inside your brain, there's this network that's basically the ultimate threat detector. Now, scientists call it the central extended amygdala. It's not just one spot, but a whole web of regions that are constantly scanning for danger and getting you ready to respond.
And for our ancestors, its job was super simple and direct. Step 1, gather info. Is that a lion in the tall grass? Step 2, assess immediacy. Okay, is it looking at me? And step 3, initiate survival response. Run! In a world of immediate threats, this system worked flawlessly.
But here's the glitch in our modern world. What happens when the threat isn't a lion, but a project deadline that's a month away? Or the health of the planet in 30 years? Well, the alarm still goes off, but there's nothing to fight, there's nowhere to run, so it just keeps ringing.
And this is where another key part of the brain comes into play, the default mode network, or DMN. Think of this as your brain's background engine. It's what's active when you're just daydreaming, or thinking about the past, or imagining the future. It's basically the home of your inner narrator.
Now, this network is what gives us our rich inner world, our ability to reflect and plan. But for people who worry a lot, this network doesn't quiet down when it's supposed to. Instead of productively planning, it just gets stuck in a loop, creating this painful, destructive mental echo chamber. So why is that loop so darn hard to break? Well, it's not just in your head, it's actually in your brain chemistry. There is a powerful biochemical feedback system that can make worrying feel, well, weirdly productive, almost addictive. And this is exactly how that vicious cycle works. It all starts with uncertainty, some potential future threat. That triggers the release of cortisol, the stress hormone, which puts your whole body on high alert. Your brain then desperately starts analyzing the problem, trying to find a solution to make that stressful feeling go away. But here's the crazy part. Just the anticipation of finding a solution releases a tiny hit of dopamine, the reward chemical. That little reward reinforces the act of worrying itself, trapping you in a loop where just thinking about the problem feels better than doing nothing at all. Now, if you want to see this whole system in complete overdrive, look no further than this powerful real-world example. A huge survey of 10,000 young people found that for nearly half of them, 45%, anxiety about the ultimate delayed return problem, climate change, was negatively affecting their day-to-day lives. And what's really interesting is that while people feel concern and helplessness about lots of global crises, climate change seems to add this unique, burning level of anxiety.
to the mix. It's the perfect storm for our ancient brain, a massive, uncertain threat in the distant future that we feel pretty much powerless to solve right now.
In fact, some psychologists are even starting to reframe this feeling not as simple anxiety, but as pre-traumatic stress. Think about that. It's a full-on stress response, intrusive thoughts, being on high alert to a catastrophe that hasn't even happened yet. This tells us it's not an overreaction. It's a logical, though incredibly painful, activation of our brain's ancient threat anticipation system.
So, are we just stuck? Are we doomed to be slaves to this ancient wiring? Absolutely not. The good news is, by understanding the system, we can actually learn to work with it instead of against it. We can learn to hack our own brains.
Okay, first things first. We have to know the difference between productive thought and destructive thought. Reflection is constructive. It uses our reasoning brain, the prefrontal cortex, to move toward a solution. But rumination, that's just hitting rewind on the same problem over and over, lighting up our emotional threat center, the amygdala, without making any progress at all.
So, the first strategy set is all about giving your ancient brain the immediate feedback it's screaming for. Our brains hate vague future problems, so make it concrete. Instead of just vaguely worrying about retirement, actually measure your monthly savings. Track it. This turns a huge, scary problem into a clear, immediate data point. It satisfies that brain's need to know, okay, what's happening right now?
All right, here's another toolkit, and these strategies are all about directly interrupting that worry loop. When you externalize your thoughts, like you write them down or say them out loud, you're literally shifting brain activity from that emotional alarm center to your logical reasoning center. And physical movement? It's not just a distraction, it's a chemical reset button. It burns off that stress hormone cortisol that's fueling the whole anxiety loop. These actions physically break the cycle.
So when you boil it all down, here's the crucial takeaway. Our brains were never designed for constant serenity or peace of mind. They were designed for survival. We are all living in the gap between those two things. The real question is, now that you have a piece of the owner's manual, how will you choose to navigate it?